interesting applications. They range from something we did on Facebook that's called I Cross Your Path, so that actually you can see the people at the end of the day you've been crossing path with, to a scheme that's like green, like a frequent flyer, but based on mileage. So it's how many miles you've been doing in the city. And that's not only interesting for the people to promote the thing. You know, the mayor was very excited, and they would say, well, what do we give to the winner, to the people, you know? And somebody said we give like 1 year of free muesli or some sort of organic thing. But it's not only about that. It's about that it's both healthy for the people, it's healthy for the air, for pollution, and it might allow the city to enter carbon trading. Now, the interesting thing is that you got a big polluting company, then you can actually reduce CO2 emission and do carbon trading, and you capitalize on that. So you reduce CO2 emissions, and you get money for that. Now, if you are a city, it's difficult to do it, because you cannot monitor everything in detail. But if you actually do this, if we start putting sensors that tell you how many more bikes you have from 1 year to the next one, then we can have the first cities actually entering carbon trading. You get money from that, and you do cycling path. Anyway, I'll show you the wheel. This is the first design. We did it together with Bill Mitchell at MIT. You know, like a Prius packed into the wheel. These are batteries, very special battery by A123, a big company from Boston, one of the key new players in the field of batteries. The interesting thing is that everything is packed into the wheel. You got the sensors as well next to the batteries. You got this idea of monitoring your CO2 emissions. You know how much CO2 you're emitting by moving. This is the first prototype. So very initial one, just to show, you know, when you got the energy, you know, you can get it back. So you apply a torque and it will supplement it, or it works just with a throttle. You know, here he's not pedaling it, he's actually getting back some of the energy he harvested before. It's actually quite fun to drive. And we are now developing it. If everything goes okay, we're about to sign a contract with BMW. So actually this should be like a BMW wheel that would be very, very sporty and fast. And there should be, our idea is that, the mayor's idea is that at the end of the year in Copenhagen, Obama and Merkel and Sarkozy and Carlo will be driving this and compete on who's collecting more green miles. The next project, I was saying, another project about sensing. So one of the big problems today is about, this is New York this year, is about waste. So here the idea is, you know, think about this computer. So this computer, you know everything about it. You know, it was made in China, assembled in Taiwan, shipped to Cupertino, and then came to my desk magically. So we know everything about what is called the supply chain, the global supply chain. However, in a few years, when I take this computer and I throw it, put it outside, it doesn't work anymore, then I don't know anything anymore about this computer. And you know, sometimes electronics will be shipped to Africa, will pollute, will not be properly disassembled. So what if we can actually develop little tags, smart tags, we place them in the city, and then we follow waste and see what goes to the right place, what goes to the wrong place, what is recycled, what is not recycled. What if you could do that? I mean, it's a little bit like when you go to hospital and they put like a tracer in your blood and then they follow how it moves through your body. So how could you use that for better understanding the problems in your body or in the body of the city, in the living city? So this is what we're doing this year. We're developing the tags. The idea is you put the tags onto waste. There's a lot of issues about, you know, you tell the people to do it themselves, and then, you know, we get all these people that actually tag their boyfriend or girlfriend and so on, or do we do it ourselves? We're still addressing a number of questions about that. And then you put the tags, and then you have the waste, and you see where everything ends up. Again, as in all the other projects, there's an exhibition component. It will happen at the Architecture League in New York and in Seattle. And it will be this, but there will be a lot of research on the data we collect, on the analysis of the data. You know, many questions we want to address about consumption, about waste disposal, about waste in people, waste in the city. You know, here's some of the questions about volume, the removal chain, what we call the removal chain as opposed to the supply chain. What happens when the object dies? And today we don't know anything about it.
How do you pick up the signal?
It's a very good point, actually, because, you know, the way, this is also a way to show a future. think about the future when every object will have an RFID, so there will be no waste anymore, because everything will be able to tell you what it is and how it should be dismantled. So that's the vision for the future. Now, however, today you cannot use RFID because you don't have the readers. RFID needs standards and readers, and you cannot do that. So we actually are developing our own tag that's running on the cell phone system, on the cell phone network, and we'll keep on working even if it's shipped to Africa or any other place. We'll keep on retrieving its signal. I'll show it to you in a second. This was the initial design with the case, a little SIM, an accelerometer, an antenna, and a little battery. This is the first components, still quite big. Looks a little bit like rubbish waste itself. Very mimetic, and here is actually the first prototype, version number 1. We're working on version number 2 and doing the first deployment in Seattle in a couple of weeks to test, how all of this is going to work. Now we're moving more to the fourth category of what we said before, about the impact of the digital onto space itself. And the projects are also becoming more architectural. So I'm showing you also something that's in between Boston and the architecture office in Italy. They go from the research to the application to interactive public space. So what is the consequence? They're putting together bits and atoms onto the actual physical design. And this is a project we did at the World Expo last year in Zaragoza. Zaragoza's team was water, and the mayor was very keen on doing something with technology. So he came to MIT to us a few years ago, and he said, fine, so MIT, technology, and then water, let's do digital water. And the idea of digital water was actually, this is a picture by Andres Sevstuk. It was developed in a class that I was teaching with Bill Mitchell and Dennis Frenchman at MIT. Was the idea that, if you imagine you get many, many solenoid valves that open and close onto a pipe, and you get this kind of fountain that has these pixels made of water. So you see here, I don't know if it's very visible on the picture there, but you see you got like a cut that's water is being cut and treated as pixels made of water. You see you have all these little tabs. They open and close, they make pixels made of water that fall down. And then if you add sensors to that, you can have reactive, responsive material. So you see the guy here is jumping into the water, and the water magically will open up to let him go through. So this was the initial idea we developed at the class, presented to the mayor. The mayor liked it very much. Somebody said that he thought about Mose, lead the city through the water, and the water will open up and through it. So to cut a long story short, we got a commission. Mayor is a very great guy in Zaragoza, Mayor Belloc. We got a commission to build a pavilion at the entrance of the expo using digital water. And the pavilion evolved a little bit in terms of concept, and I'll show it to you here. So you see the cuts in the water, circle whatever you want. It's where you have no water is black and water. You approach no doors, but you approach the building, it will open up. The roof is also covered with water. At the end, you see a new bridge by Zaha Hadid, just next to our site. If there is wind, you want to minimize splashing, so you need to lower the roof. Or if you want to close the building at night or during the winter, the architecture disappears. So this is the video we developed. We presented it. We had a lot of fun, and it was well received. Like Time Magazine named it the best invention of the year, and so on. But we didn't think they would actually decide to build it. And one of the amazing things in Spain is that people are really passionate about things, and jump also is something that seems a bit impossible. So a few months before the expo, they told us, okay, they wanted to build it at the entrance. We put together a team that was Boston, also with Bill and Dennis and other people here, the office in Italy, in Torino, graphic designers in Milan, FM Studio, actually very, very good landscape architects from Paris, Agence Terre. Olivier Philippe was working with us, And then in Madrid, both Ove Arup in London